Thank you so much for joining me, Gregory. My name is Damaris. I am a student at Full Sail University. I'm doing my major in journalism. And for this week, I had to interview an expert in a field. And I know that you have been working in this field for 15 years. So I just wanted to see if you could just talk to me about what you do, who you work for, and how has your experience in your career has been so far.
Okay, no problem. Well, thanks for having me first off. And like you said, my name is Gregory Torres. I have been working in accounting for about 15 plus years now. Currently right now, I work for a company called Pittsburgh Steel here in Pittsburgh, Texas. I'm the acting CFO along with the owner of the company. It's a steel manufacturing and fabrication company. And so a lot of what we do, like I said, especially from an acting CFO role, it's just a lot of money management, a lot of operational accounting, cost accounting, and at the end of the day, just making sure that our bottom line is net profitable. So, yeah.
Great. So if I have a couple of questions for you, if that's fine.
Sure.
One of the questions is, what led you to this career path?
What led me to it actually is kind of funny. When I was going through kind of junior high and even high school, I realized that I had a really good knack for, a really good ability in mathematics, okay? So I was really good in math. I loved the rule base in mathematics. I loved how logical it was. When I got into linear algebra and fundamentals of mathematics, later on into my education, I realized that hey, this is really something I'm good at. I'm able to study numbers, study patterns. I'm able to kind of look at a problem and come up with multiple different solutions. And as I kind of studied through college, I kind of realized that, hey, either I'm going to be a math teacher, and not that against teaching or anything like that, but to be quite frank, it was either I can be a math teacher or I can join join accounting field, and the compensation would be quite much higher. And so I actually switched my focus and headed more towards accounting, and that's really how I got into the business, I guess.
Great. So where did you go to school?
Well, I went to Doane University first. That's where I got my undergrad. And then when I actually left work and I started working for an insurance agency, I went back to school and got my degree in accounting.
Okay, great. So now that you have been doing accounting for some time, what would you say that makes accounting interesting for those that are going towards it?
Well, for those that are going into it, I hope that they already have an interest in it and they already think that it's fun. Or maybe it's just something like me where they thought that they were good at, so that they would kind of make a career out of it. But for the majority of people who talk about accounting, their first response usually is, well, that must be boring. You're literally just plugging numbers into a spreadsheet or into a system. And they kind of think of the movie, what is it, Office Space or whatever, or they think of the actual office and things like that. And people, that's what they really think of. But the reality of it is it has so much more depth to it, because in accounting, there's so many different fields. It has, kind of within it, it has different branches. You kind of have your financial accounting, you have your managerial accounting, you have your cost accounting. Then you even have off branches for your kind of checks and balances. You have audit, and you have tax, and you have compliance, and all these other things. And one of the interesting parts about it is no matter how long you do accounting, you're always going to run into something, you're going to experience something that you probably never have, and you're going to continually learn. For those who are kind of in tax code and audit, there's always something changing every single year. Some regulation is being updated, and I think that that's also what keeps it interesting and fun, is that you're always going to learn. There's things that are going to kind of tweak along the way, and with that, your business practices, the way that you internally within your business would be compliant has to change, and just everything about your approach then to your company then changes along with those kind of changes every day.
Great. Thank you so much for explaining that. And since you've been in this field for 15 plus years, how would you say that it has changed from the time that you started to how it is now?
Oh, I'll tell you, the first one that actually jumps out to my mind is the accounting systems, okay? I remember getting my first job, and I was an auditor for a health insurance company, and I was on one of those old Microsoft, those MS DS, system platforms, and it was literally a black screen, and all you could do was tab, and that was it. You could just tab and arrow, and that's what got you to the next screen and the next screen and the next screen. And then you'd have your F1 hotkeys, and you'd hit you hit F2, and that would take you to accounting, or you hit F3, and that took you to inventory, or you hit another button. and the screen was so archaic. You were literally staring at like this little box, and it was, if you wanted to look in records or pull past history or things like that, it was just a mission in order to get information and systems out of it. You'd get the old, you get like those old like tearaway roll papers that would print out like on the green and white sheets, like of your different stripes on your paper. You put your paper in, and then you'd like tear off like the seam on the end, and it was just like the financial reporting and financial systems have changed drastically from when I started. Now you have bigger things like Oracle and NetSuite, SAP 400, all these little off branches of stuff that, you know, nobody's ever used, and all these QuickBooks and just everything. The accounting systems in themselves have really evolved and changed, making accounting so much easier today than it ever was. And so
now you have papers all over the place.
now you really don't. If you really don't need to, you don't have paper around so much. Whereas like we did, you know, we kept these huge binders and these huge roll ring binders, and some of us still actually do when we print out like kind of like our reconciliations at the end of the month and a bunch of other financials. You know, you present it like in a portfolio, but now everything is just downloaded. You just download it and put it into a spreadsheet. It's not so much paper and pen as it used to be, and that has really changed how efficient we are with our time. And the efficiency is truly, truly key for us to focus on other things within the business and not having to be so tied down into the weeds with accounting. So I would say something that's really changed in the last time is just kind of how we evolved through our accounting systems and our financial reporting. It's been huge. So way different.
Thank you so much for explaining that, and thank you so much for answering my questions.
Of course, yeah, it was great being here. Hopefully you got everything you needed.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.